Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Emma. I'm the Membership and Young Adult Manager at the First UU Church of San Francisco. And it's really wonderful to be here at the UU Fellowship of Redwood City for my first time. Thank you for being so welcoming. And thank you for letting us share a little bit about the UU Young Adult Retreat that took place in January earlier this year. So UUSF hosted a young adult retreat in Pescadero at the Venture Retreat Center with thanks to a generous grant from the Hinckley Fund. And we wanted to create a space for young adults that provided sustenance and community for those who attended, and to give young adults the time and space to deepen connections in a way that is so often not possible in the regular routines and busyness of our daily lives. We wanted it to be open to young adults from other congregations as well, and we were really grateful that Nick joined us from Redwood City, as well as young adults from the church in Kensington, Berkeley as well. In total, we had 12 young adults gather under the redwood trees in Pescadero for the retreat. The theme for the weekend was UUSF's Young Adult Guide to Being Human in 2026. Living in this world can often feel tumultuous and leave us feeling disconnected, and we wanted to explore this idea of how to tap into our humanity and spiritual communities in a holistic way. This included collaborated activities like yoga, mindfulness meditation, a hike in the redwoods, emotional intelligence exploration, difficult conversation skills, worship, and of course, board games, and an open mic night. We cooked our meals together and cleaned up collectively. Another thing to mention was the retreat center was home to a lot of cats. Maybe now you understand a little bit more why we named the service Drool and Brambles. We created a loving, supportive, joyful community in the short time that we came together. The weekend challenged our young adults to push outside our comfort zones, to consider their roles in the churches that they attend, and how to tap into their humanity and their communities. It's been wonderful to see the ways that these bonds have continued beyond the retreat, and the ways that young adults are leading in our communities. I look forward to chatting with you more as we make lunches together for the Sunday action, so if you have any questions about it or are curious, please feel free to chat with us. And I'm so glad we could invest in our young adults and our young adult UU community and strengthen their connection with each other and to Unitarian Universalism. I'm going to end with a poem that was written by two of the attendees, Andreas and Olivia, which they performed at the open mic night, which became the namesake of this worship service. Drool and Brambles. It began with a carpool, then came the Drool. For breakfast, we had a scramble. Then I walked through brambles. Sounds of Oak's violin made it worth the travel in. Emma is a planning wizard, but really, she just wants to be a lizard. We tried to make s'mores and became friends over chores. There's warmth in the yurt, while the outdoor shower makes us alert. Let's go to venture for adventures until we all have dentures. We met Scarf on the retreat. He's a hard cat to beat. We did yoga in the sun. Thanks UUSF for all the fun.
My name is Nick. I'm a member here at UUFRC. I am a sucker for a retreat. You mean to tell me I can have the ambiance of camping, but with a bed and a shower? I'm in. A retreat with 13 complete strangers, though, is not an opportunity I would have always gone for. But now, I find myself craving the connection. I love observing all the fun personality quirks that make up a person. I drink in the stories shared, the life histories revealed bit by bit. I sense what an amazing gift this retreat is, or was. A financial gift, to be sure, because there were benefactors that made it happen. But also relationally. I think it's a tremendous gift to have someone take the time out of their busy life and come hang out in the woods of Pescadero for 2 days. And it's that word time, the passing of time, and its finite quantity that crosses my mind more frequently these days. And it shouldn't be a surprise, it's only natural, but it can be a bummer when you're just trying to go about the day. But I am getting older, and it intrudes in lighter moments, like when I'm in the car and I catch my reflection and I see these gray and white hairs on the side. I'm going for that silver fox look eventually. And it descends in heavier moments with the death of grandparents. Despite the quixotic efforts of billionaires out there doggedly pursuing immortality, our days on this earth are numbered. Death, a universal certainty. And the consequence of internalizing this truth is that you awaken to the reality that our time is limited. It's rendered a non-renewable resource. A match has been lit, and it's to the supply, and it's ever burning in the background. My favorite rendition of A Christmas Carol is the 1970 musical Scrooge, and in it, the ghost of Christmas Present says, "There is never enough time to do or say all the things that we would wish. The thing is to try and do as much as you can in the time that you have. Life is short, and suddenly you're not here anymore." I hardly agree with the jovial spirits, and I find myself wrestling with how to pack in as much as possible. These questions about what is important and worth my time. How do I spend this currency of time that I have? And I have no hard and fast rules and answers to share, but clues are there from our retreat weekend. From being immersed in nature to the support and fellowship we showed each other by being truly present and paying attention, limiting phone usage. It was time well spent. And the March theme was paying attention. This is when I wrote the longer version of this reflection. And in the context of the limited time we have, it takes on a sacred duty to connect, commune, listen with all your might with the time that you have. If every moment is like a dish rag, wring it out and dispel every droplet, every feeling, every emotion, every laugh, till there's nothing left. British writer Jeff Foster has this passage called "You Will Lose Everything" that speaks eloquently on the themes of impermanence that I've touched on. He begins by bluntly telling the reader that they will lose everything. Their looks, family, power, everything will be crushed. But he counters that we stand on holy ground, that whoever or whatever is in your life has not yet been taken away and is deserving of your heartbreaking gratitude. That loss has already transfigured your life into an altar. And this retreat in January and the new friends from it, and I guess by extension, everyone here is now a part of my altar as I move through this world. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Vivian, and it's my first time at the Redwood City Church, so I'm happy to be here. I'm a member of UUSF and a young adult, and since July is Disability Pride Month, I'll also mention that I'm autistic. And when we gave this service in UUSF in March, Reverend Laura asked me to speak about my journey to becoming a member at UUSF, so that's what I'll talk about today. I first came to UUSF in March of 2024. My grandma, Nancy Smith, had recently passed away, and I was feeling totally adrift. I became more involved with the church through the young adults group, including the young adults Soul Matters discussion groups every other Tuesday night, where we discuss topics ranging from sincerity to resilience, probably many of the same Soul Matters themes that you use here. I started contemplating membership in the fall of 2025. By that point, I was involved in multiple groups, the Tuesday evening young adults group, but also the Wednesday morning vigils we hold outside our church to raise awareness of various social issues. I'd become friends with some of the young adults outside of church too, and I had that opportunity to deepen my connections at the young adult retreat. By that point, UUSF had become more than a drop-in place. It was a community, something I wanted to contribute to and become a part of. Overall, it took me about 2 years from first walking through the doors to becoming a member of UUSF, which I know is longer than some there and shorter than others. but I'm really happy that UUSF is part of my community and happy to be able to come to Redwood City today as well. Thank you.